Welcome to Voyage Daily Tech, the most important news personalized for you every day, supported by Voyage.com.
We've got 5 fascinating tech stories lined up for you today. First, we'll look at the race to create autofocus glasses that could make bifocals obsolete, a technology haunted by, those old cyborg fears. Then, with vegan cheese sales in freefall, we'll uncover the startups brewing real dairy protein for a silent takeover of frozen pizza. After that, we'll investigate Tesla's bizarre India launch, where it's choosing to face a crippling 70% import tax instead of building a factory. Fourth, we'll cover how a rebel group now controls a vital Coltan mine, sparking a new Cold War for the minerals inside our very own phones. And we'll wrap up with Robinhood, whose stock is soaring an unbelievable 160%, all while it faces regulator probes over its controversial OpenAI tokens. Let's start with a technology that could make bifocals and reading glasses totally obsolete. And it's not from a tech giant like Apple or Google, it's actually from a small Finnish company called Easy. They're developing autofocus glasses that use liquid crystals and eye tracking to instantly change your prescription, whether you're looking at your phone or at the horizon. The promise is a single pair of glasses for every situation. But there's a ghost haunting this entire project. Google Glass, the company's own CEO, Nico Iden, admits the biggest challenge is that people don't want to look like cyborgs. He also makes a shockingly candid confession about their early work, saying, "The first lenses that we produced were horrible." And the price? When asked about a potential £1,000 price tag, the CEO simply smiled and refused to confirm. However, the technical hurdles are only half the story. The bigger battle is against the industry itself. Experts are already raising red flags, asking what happens if the autofocus lags while you're driving, or even more chillingly, while a surgeon is using them. A previous company, Adlens, that tried to launch similar tech, found their product strangled by opticians who felt threatened. This isn't just a race to build better glasses. It's a battle for survival against an entire establishment. If that was just the appetizer, the main course is just being served. While some companies are trying to perfect vision correction, others are working on something even more radical. One researcher has already developed glasses that cut the progression of childhood short-sightedness by 60%. Now, he's teasing the ultimate breakthrough, glasses that don't just slow vision loss but actually reverse it. His final words on the subject: "There is growing evidence that you can do it." From one radical scientific breakthrough to another, the market for plant-based cheese is in total freefall. Sales just cratered, plunging an astonishing 25.6%. The reason why is a bombshell statistic. A new survey found that 40% of people who try vegan cheese once never, ever buy it again. This is where the situation takes a more complex turn. Just as the dairy-free dream seems to be dying, a handful of secretive startups are making $1 billion bet on a radical new plan, creating real cheese that has never seen a cow. Using a process called precision fermentation, these companies are genetically engineering yeast to produce casein, the key protein that gives dairy its signature taste and melt. The goal isn't to imitate cheese. It's to brew it from the ground up, molecularly identical to the real thing. Their strategy is a silent revolution. One CEO admits the appetite for vegan cheese is low, so they're targeting the foods you never think about. As she puts it, if you buy frozen pizza, you don't really think of what kind of cheese is on that, so it's quite easy to swap. And this is no niche experiment. One of these startups, standing ovation, has already inked a major partnership with Bell, the multi-billion-dollar food giant that makes Baby Bell. The situation presents a fascinating duality. On one side, you have this incredible new technology, while on the other, it exposes a deep-seated consumer bias against anything labelled lab-grown. The counter-argument from inside the labs is blunt. One CEO claims we have a romanticised view of dairy farming, arguing it's already a totally industrialised process. This all begs the question: is this the future of food, sneaking into our lives one frozen pizza at a time, or a high-tech solution to a problem consumers have already decided they don't want solved? While some companies are trying for a silent revolution, others are making as much noise as possible. The most unexpected news in the auto world today has to be Tesla's baffling strategy for India. Just as the company prepares to finally launch, a top government minister has gone on the record saying Tesla is, quote, not interested in manufacturing in the country. This isn't just a minor detail, it's the entire story. Tesla is set to open its first showroom in Mumbai on July 15th, but without a local factory. It's walking straight into a financial buzzsaw, a staggering 70% import duty on electric vehicles. There's an escape hatch, but it's a pricey one. India has offered to slash that duty to just 15%, but only if a company commits to investing at least $500 million in setting up local manufacturing. Tesla's apparent refusal means it's choosing to import its cars from plants in Shanghai or Berlin and absorb a massive tax hit that its competitors, like longtime Chinese rival BYD and local heavyweight Tata Motors, simply don't face. So the thing is, while Tesla is hiring for showroom advisors and autopilot data collectors in Mumbai and New Delhi, it's launching with one hand tied behind its back. This move defies the playbook it has used in every other major market. However, if you zoom out, you might see another layer of strategy at play. The doors to the first experience center will open and the cars will be on display. But the real question is, what is Elon Musk's endgame? Is this a bold negotiation tactic, or is Tesla making a $500 million bet that it can win in India on brand power alone? Speaking of high-stakes bets, the battle for market share is one thing, but the fight for the raw materials that power our entire world is another. The phone in your hand, for instance, is at the center of a new global power struggle. A stunning development in the eastern DR Congo has put one of the world's most vital mines, holding 15% of the global coltan supply, into the hands of an armed rebel group. The M23 rebels have seized the massive Rubaya mine. Every day, more than 10,000 miners descend into its tunnels. And what's happening on the ground isn't chaos. It's a surprisingly organized, full-blown enterprise. The rebels have appointed their own supervisor and created a mining department to oversee production and safety. They are cashing in. A UN report detailed how the M23 makes hundreds of thousands of dollars each month just from taxing the coltan that powers our electronics. This has turned a brutal conflict into a high-stakes business. And now, global superpowers are placing their bets. The region's mining sector has long been dominated by Chinese companies, but the United States is making a direct play for access. Ahead of a recent ceasefire signing, former US President Donald Trump made a stunning statement on the deal. We're getting for the United States a lot of the mineral rights from the DR Congo. What's unfolding is essentially a new Cold War, fought not over ideology, but for the raw materials that fuel the 21st century. The rebels are even rolling out the red carpet, with their appointed supervisor stating that any foreign investor can come as long as they bring development for our people. So while miners on the ground say their pay is very little, a battle for immense wealth is raging above them. The question is no longer just about who wins the war, but who will own the ground beneath it, the rebels, the government, or a foreign superpower. The battles for the minerals inside our phones are intense, but so are the battles happening on our phones. Robinhood, the popular trading app, is offering a tantalizing proposition, a way for retail investors to buy into OpenAI. There's just one massive problem. OpenAI has publicly objected, warning the tokens do not represent real equity and were issued without its approval. Robinhood's own CEO, Vlad Tenev, went on the record to clarify. His response: it is true that these are not technically equity. He argues what's important is giving retail customers exposure to the asset, but this move has triggered alarms. Robinhood's lead regulator in the EU, the Bank of Lithuania, is now awaiting clarifications on the legality of these instruments. And the heat is on back in the US. The Florida Attorney General has opened a formal investigation into Robinhood Crypto, alleging the platform misled users. In a scathing statement, the AG said, Robinhood has long claimed to be the best bargain, but we believe those representations were deceptive. And yet, amidst all this regulatory heat, the market seems to be telling a completely different story. Robinhood's stock has surged a staggering 160% this year. The headwinds keep mounting. JP Morgan just announced it will start charging fintechs for customer data access, a move that could squeeze Robinhood's thin margins. The company is also facing pushback for a new 25% cut it plans to take from users' crypto staking rewards. This whole situation brings both immense regulatory risk and comes with the potential for a huge government-backed reward. After all, Robinhood is positioning itself to be a key beneficiary of the new Trump Accounts initiative, a plan to give every newborn a $1,000 government-seeded investment account. The real question is, which force will win the fight for Robinhood's future?
That's it for today on Voyage Daily Tech. Follow, share, and stay tuned for daily updates coming your way tomorrow.